Sorry about that, ground quick people. Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Two Aquilines Presents. See what the cards have to tell us. And this is the Cosmic Universal Coaching Call for the week of, let's see, what's today? Oh, yeah, August 14th, 2020. Welcome aboard to episode number 10. Can't believe it. We made it already. No, episode number 10. Actually, it's our 11th, of course, if you count the pilot episode, which is episode number 0. But hey, I'm not going to count that. But anyways, so we made it to double digits here. Cool thing, cool beans, right? So anyways, let's get the show started. And without further ado, but first of all, before I do such a thing, hope you like the new background as well. Kind of cool. I thought I'd use a different one every week if I could. Anyways, so just wanted to make a little bit of a comment before we really get started here on with regards to the last week's episode. I kind of did some thinking about that. I never really got any comments on that or anything like that, which I suppose is, I guess, no news is good news, I guess. But anyways, so last week I was very intense about the reading and see myself a little bit better. I was a little bit more intense about the reading and the message and so forth and so on. And when I did it, I kind of thought, well, gee, am I getting a little overboard because I was a little too high-spirited, as it were, or is this something that is, necessary? And I kind of got the message that it was kind of a tantamount to, how do I put it? It was tantamount to yelling at seeds to grow just after you plant them. And so, I'm going to say kind of a two-pronged message here. On one hand, I do apologize about the intensity, but at the same time, I don't apologize for the message because we are really coming into some very urgent times and stuff like that. Everybody's feeling it. There's a buttload of cognitive dissonance out there and so forth and so on. And I just really, just kind of like, well, I know I can be a type A and be very intense and stuff like that. So, apologies on that, but as it were, as I say in every episode, we are in final exam times, and this is this kind of comes down to crunch time, and mainly because of the fact that I want to be, I don't want to live in a communist world. I don't want to live in a socialist world. I want to live in a free world. I want to live in, a world where everybody is getting along. We've got, similar goals. We're doing more collaboration rather than competition and so forth and so on. And, I want to see these old, dark, unjust systems broken down just as badly as anybody else. So that's kind of where the that's kind of where the intensity comes in, I guess. And because, this is just not, it's not for, just a few who are working towards this. This is for everybody. And, the more we come to realize that, the more, the more together we can be. And that's kind of the subject of this, of reading, I guess you could say. And it's really cool. I mean, here's how I put it. Let me put it to you from this way, from the heart. You know, if things are chosen to reset into a dystopian world, a dystopian paradigm, and stuff like that, that's your choice. That's fine. I wouldn't want to be a part of it. There's a lot of other people who would not be a part of it. But even more so, we would miss you all who have chosen to go the other way, because everybody's a part of each other. We live in a holographic universe. And because of that, we live in a very connected society, i.e. social street or media, so forth and so on. But even without the technology, we're still very much interconnected and interdependent on one another, whether we like it or not. And so therefore the situation comes in as kind of a grave type situation. You know, we've got to do this because of the fact that it really depends on our survival. And if we don't make it, you know, hey, you know, the elders would be gone, and we don't really want to be gone. Um, you know, the elders are not elders without, you know, the younger generations to learn from them, and to also show them what they've forgotten, and so forth and so on. So, you know, if it were chosen to go into the um, you know, you know, go gently into the night, as it were, um, you know, you guys would be missed. You really would. And you know, and it would just be unfortunate. And so therefore my intensity came off the way that it did. And you know, if it seemed, you know, very much in your face and very brash and even rude, you know, I apologize about it. But, you know, of course the message does stand. It really does. And it's something that we all need to be very cognizant and aware of, because of the fact that, you know, the next 2 to 3 months is really going to define, you know, where we go in the next decade or two, and even throughout the rest of our evolution and stuff like that. I mean, there's a lot of gifts that are very uh, that are being offered to us, and you know what, I really don't want to miss out on those, and I don't want to be confined to some sort of technocratic, you know, virtual reality where our you know, our humanity is taken away, and so forth and so on. It's really you know, it's a really frightening and sad thing to think of. And you know, with that possibility, and I do say possibility, looming on the horizon, very you know, very closely on the horizon, you know, you know, it makes things even more urgent than before. So I just wanted to put that out there and kind of give you a little bit of reasoning for why I did what I did. And you know, I know it's very type A, very in your face, almost militaristic, but the fact of the matter is that, you know, we are coming up on a critical point in our evolution. And so therefore I reshaped the question when I did the reading. I said, you know, what do those who are on their evolutionary path of awakening need to know at present? So that way, you know, it kind of changes up things. I'm not necessarily repeating myself, hopefully, through these readings, even though these cards are you know, are chosen at random, and so forth and so on. But you know, I just don't want to be, you know, you know, pounding the same message over and over again, and you know, feel like I'm banging my head up against a brick wall. This is about service. This is about being of service to the greater circle, rather than, you know, just, you know, trying to get a message out there just to, you know, be another YouTuber, or, you know, what have you, and so forth and so on. But, you know, having said that though, one other just, you know, minor thing, and I'll get it, I swear I'll get into the reading, um, is if you like this video, you know, subscribe to the channel, like it, share it with others, leave your comments, so forth and so on. They're more than welcome. You know, I'm not looking for that dopamine squirt, but you know, at the same time, it's nice to know that, hey, you know, um, that the voice is being heard out there, at least acknowledged, and stuff like that. So with that said, I hope that cleans some house, as it were. And so let's get on with the reading. Let's get on with what's going on right now. And it's pretty interesting stuff. As a matter of fact, this is going to be a little bit more of a positive reading. So I'm going to share my screen here. You should see that already. All right. So first of all, on the east direction, which is talking about what's at hand, what's coming down the pike right now, is the 10 of, excuse me, this is no time to get hiccups. Come on, really, seriously. 10 of fire, talking about radiance. And excuse me for my chin bumping up against the mic. I'm sorry about that. So 10 of fire, talking about radiance. We are coming into a time where we are actually being ushered to basically shine. This is our time to shine. This is our time to keep shedding light on the darkness, and breaking down those systems by, you know, sharing our inner light, sharing our truths, sharing our humanity, and so forth and so on. And that's what the 10 of fire is all about. I drew this and I'm like going, why do the same cards keep coming up? But it's interesting is that now here it is that being on the east, it's basically saying, hey, keep up the good work, keep things going, keep things moving, because now that momentum is now starting to build. That's the big thing right there, and that kind of elated me right there as far as that's concerned. So this is basically saying, keep the faith, keep shining on, and keep moving forward and stuff like that. So the next card is the High Priestess upside down, and this is interesting. I'm going to go back to my notes here and look at this. And she came up in the community position, the south position, because what she is reminding us is that we're being initiated, and this is the quote here that I got, is that we're being initiated to our own innate wisdom and being the vessel for that innate wisdom. So she comes in at the community card because of the fact that, and I'm going to share this with you here. No, wait. Let me go back here. How do I switch screens? There we go. All right. No, that's not what I want. There we go. Okay. All right. So she comes in up in the south because of the fact that it is our innate wisdom. It is our innate ability to be who we are. That is going to be the foundation for building of new communities, building new paradigms, and so forth and so on. And what she's reminding us of is do not forget that we are the vessels. We are the hollow bones, to use a shamanic perspective for that, okay? In the fact that this is basically what's giving us the greatest support, is our innate wisdom, our inner knowledge, our inner knowing, as it were, including the intuition. That's a big thing as well. So with that said, that's why the High Priestess comes in upside down, is because of the fact that she's asking us to integrate that as well as do not forget it, because we're still kind of dealing with a little bit of distractions and so forth and so on, which is still, dividing us, i.e. the politics and all the weaponization that comes with that, and so forth and so on. So, she's kind of saying, hey, keep your eyes on the prize, as it were, and keep looking in the mirror and reevaluating who you are and what you have to bring to the table, and so forth and so on, because other people are looking for that, okay? And they're not looking for it in a bad way. They need that, okay? So the Elementor of Lotus comes up in the west. Now this is interesting. I'm going to bring up my screen here. I'm going to say this. Okay, so hopefully you can see this. All right. So the Elementor of what the heck are we doing here? Okay. Sorry, my mouse is being a little bit. There we go. All right. So the south, we talked about the High Priestess. Now we're talking about the Lotus reversed. The Elementor of Lotus says we still need to allow ourselves to emerge into the fullness of wisdom and enlightenment that we've obtained this far. Remember, this is also very complementary to the south card. So what this saying is that what is giving us the greatest support and what is giving us the greatest amount of, or the greatest advantage, as it were, is that we are basically realizing who we are. We're realizing what we know, what we intuit, what we come to realize within ourselves, despite all the myths and disinformation and all the lies and all the deceptions and stuff like that. We still have a great deal to offer the world and to ourselves and to our communities, and breaking down the barriers that are being thrown against us. And that's now starting to happen even more so, which is really cool. Now, the North card is very interesting because now we talk about alchemy, okay? Alchemy is bringing in all those elements, bringing in the fiery passion, the waters of emotion and feeling, the earth of groundedness and sky of freedom, as well as the ether of the life force, and bringing those all together and coming into a new sense of being, a new sense of realizing who we are. As a matter of fact, one of the cards later on will show us that we are awakening. We're coming out of that chrysalis, and now we're almost on the almost on the edge of that breakthrough to where we can stand as a butterfly and stretch our wings and really embrace that next stage of evolution, which is really cool. I like that. And and so we're learning right now how to be the alchemists and bring bring those differences, bring those different elements and different parts together for something that is more synergistic. Remember what I said about synergy is that you add two or more parts together and you get more than the sum of those parts. So the the Mother Earth position is talking about the chariot. So this is the first prophecy card here. All right. The first prophecy card is showing us that we are basically moving ahead, that things are definitely gaining momentum and moving forward and stuff like that. This is basically telling us do not despair no matter what the situation looks like. It kind of looks hopeless out there. There's a lot of future shock going out there. There's a lot of cosmic cosmic yeah, I guess you could say cosmic, but there's a lot of cognitive dissonance as well that is showing itself. But the fact of the matter is that even though all this is being thrown at us, it is a sign of desperation. And the Emperor reversed in the Father Sky position is very interesting because of the fact that the first thing that he talks about, the first thing that I got from this when I drew this, is that the old, systems are being broken down. Okay. But also at the same time, what he's saying is that we're coming upon a time where the righteous indignation and standing up for standing up for the innocent, standing up for the things that are right and stuff like that is going to be called for. This is saying not get carried away, for instance, but what this is saying is to tap into our inner sense of justice, what really is justice, and really defending the innocent and defending who it is we are. Let's see, what did I write for Emperor here? Let me pull that up. So Emperor reversed is saying, by all this, we're about to use the divine masculine to stand up for, why did I catch a spelling error earlier? For what's right and break down the system of control. Don't give in to the toxic masculinity BS, okay? Remember what I said is that we're coming upon a situation where we are actually, the divine feminine is raising herself to meet the divine masculine. So that way she can support us better. And so therefore we come into a greater reality, a greater sense of knowing of ourselves and stuff like that. So that's what the Emperor is saying. He's saying, don't be afraid to be, to stand up for what's right and stuff like that. But don't get tied up in our own egos as far as what we're doing. Just because of the fact that we can defend and we can pull that sword if we need to and all that, don't let that be the sole source of power, because otherwise it'll become toxic to us. All right. Now, Nine of Feathers is talking about the higher intellect. What this is in the seventh direction, this is basically coming into knowing of who we really are, our innate abilities, our innate knowledge, even coming into the ancient wisdoms and integrating those into our existence. As you can see, it's a sacred symbol, complete with feathers, and it's also purple, lavender, and stuff like that, which is higher states of awareness, higher states of being, and all that. This is talking about moving into the next level. Essentially, what this is talking about is coming home. coming home to ourselves, coming home to that higher knowledge, that higher wisdom that we've always known before, but we kind of, kind of let go over the past few thousand years and stuff like that. So this is really, really a positive set here that comes up. Okay, so let's go to the shamanic medicine oracle cards. We have the four-leggeds talking about endurance. This is also saying, hey, you can do this. You can keep moving forward and all that stuff. The battle, the war is not over yet. It's coming to a climax, but it's not over yet. I would liken this to be kind of um, to use a historical example or historical illusion, as it were, is the Battle of the Bulge. When the Nazis were basically throwing everything, including the kitchen sink, at us, um, near the uh, near the fields of near the forests of Bastogne and so forth and so on. But really, what this is saying is that even though they're coming at us with full force, it's because of the fact that they're desperate. So the key here is for us to keep enduring and to keep moving forward, because what supports us as a community, as what supports us as family, etc., is the plant people. And this is talking about truth, finding that inner divine wisdom and finding that inner that inner knowing, and being able to challenge the illusion but with what we know to be true. Okay, the conch shell calling, that keeps coming up as well. We've seen this card several times throughout the throughout the reading process and stuff like that. And this is, again, our greatest advantage is heeding the calling of who we are, waking up to our own power, our own divinity, the capabilities that are brought up through our diversities and so forth and so on, and thus coming into more of a collaboration and stuff like that. Hearing the calling of each other is what I'm hearing, and heeding that call and standing together, no matter where we come from, whatever walk of life, career, creed, whatever, race, it doesn't matter. Hearing that calling and coming together and saying, this is who we are, because that's our greatest advantage. That cannot be taken away from us unless we give it up. Okay, so this is saying, don't give it up. Okay, so in the north is the east. Okay, so emergence. We are learning how to emerge into who we are. This is a great, we are living in not only a pivotal time in history, we are living in a fantastic time in history, because when we come out the other side of this and we put to rest those now, now obsoleting systems, as it were, and all that, and really coming into a step into a forefront of our own evolution, the next level and stuff like that, we're going to have stories to tell as far as how we emerged and how we came through this. And this is the lesson that we're learning, is how we are emerging, how we're getting through the lesson, how we're going in, how we're going about our evolution, and so forth and so on. So this is really cool. What this is saying is that it's the end of one world. It's the end of one world that is not working, but it's an emergence of a brand new world, a brand new way of thinking, a brand new consciousness that we all dreamed about. But now we're actually learning how to actualize that, which is really cool, I think. So, all right. So we have the rattle talking about dispersion. Now, the rattle, for those of you who are familiar with shamanic and spiritual work and so forth and so on, you know that the rattle is used to kind of disperse negative energies. It's a form of smudging, and what this is saying is that we are dispersing the darkness by shining the light through, shining truth through, shining wisdom through, and so forth and so on. So that rattle becomes the purveyor, that disruptor, as it were, in order to bring in those new energies. So That's really cool. So let's look at how Father Sky complements that. All right. Father Sky uh, is the trickster. That's talking about challenging the old beliefs, challenging what doesn't work anymore, and saying, really, you think this works? How about this? Have you considered this? And so forth and so on. So between these two cards is really, really a positive sign, positive message, because we are now, in a way, becoming the tricksters to the obsolescent energy that and structures that are no longer serving us. So this is really, really cool. So let's look at the seventh direction. Now we have the seventh direction, which is the sea creatures immersion. What I got from this is that we are immersing ourselves into, uh, again, going back home within, and going back home to who we really know who we are, and all that, and that therefore the birth of our new power. So we got the conch shell, we've got the immersion, we've got the four-leggeds, we got the endurance and stuff like that. So what this is saying is that we are on the journey home, that we're going in the right direction, and we're going in the right we're being shown our truth, and we're being shown how to emerge and immerse into our truth, which is really, really cool. So this is saying, that we need to keep having those discussions. We need to keep having those quests for what is really out there, what's not working, exposing that, and sharing information amongst each other, and so forth and so on, because that's what gives us hope. And that's because that hope is where we emerge as well. Now, there's another thing that came up, and this is something that I put in the show notes, is that the value of what we value, the things that we value, are contained in the effort. The effort is contained in the value, as it were. Okay. And by that, what I mean is that the value being within the effort. If you value something, you're going to take a lot of effort in order to make it so, as Captain Picard would say. Okay. If you work for the dream and you achieve that dream, it becomes even more satisfactory. So right now we are going through that endurance. We are going through that immense amount of effort and stuff like that. But if we value it, then we can take that brand new world, and not only take it for ourselves, but we can also take that reality, because of the fact that it becomes us and we become it. So, having said that, that's pretty damn intense, really, but very positive message. But this is saying is keep doing the work, is essentially is what it's all about. All right, so I'm going to zoom out here. Zoom out. Thank you. All right, next spread. And I apologize. I tried to put this in another background and all that stuff. I'm doing some experimenting, trying to keep my legs, my feet, and my belly out of there. But oh well, what can I say? Self-deprecation. What can I say? Anyways, all right. So the East is really cool, because the East is basically showing us otter medicine. Remember what I talked about, divine feminine? This is basically telling us that divine feminine is coming back to support us and to help us, to help nurture us and support us in our evolution. That's really cool. I'm hoping that this is also the sign that, hey, hugs and handshakes and social interaction, as far as that's concerned, is coming back. Because, man, I don't know about you, I need it badly. Okay, 6 months and counting is not a cool thing. Okay. Anyways, enough about me. Anyhow, all right. Now, Opossum is 23, talking about distractions. Right now, what this is warning us is saying, don't be distracted by all the information that is coming at us, especially when it comes to our common beliefs, our common knowledge, our common wisdom, and stuff like that. There's still going to come, times where the main screech-card media and whomever, all the trolls and haters out there and stuff like that, are going to try to to malign us, but there's a really wonderful quote that I put on my Facebook page, and I may even put it in the show notes as well if I can get away with it. Is because I'm already up to almost 5,000 characters, but the fact of the matter is that basically, paraphrasing it, it says, he says, stay fast to your heart, because that's where the innocence of your child, your inner child lies, and that's where your greatest power resides as well. And when you do that, then those who hurl illusions, who hurl insults at you and stuff like that, it won't matter, because that will, your inner truth will be the mirror to show them their truth. It's really awesome. So I'll see if I can share that later on with you. If you have access to my, Facebook, personal Facebook profile, I put it up there. So, and I may even put it up there on the Synergy research page as well. So in the West, we have Mouse, again, talking about scrutiny. That's our greatest advantage. Looking at what's being fed to us and looking at what is, seeing what's right, what's not, what fits, what doesn't, what works and what isn't working, and what needs to be let go of, and so forth and so on. What needs to be revised, what needs to be retuned, what needs to be recoursed, as it were. That's what Mouse is helping us do. That's the greatest advantage, because of the fact that we're looking for that guidance. And what this saying is that that guidance, that prayer for guidance, is being answered. So that's a big thing right there. That's really cool. All right. Now we have the beaver. Okay. Now this is interesting. Now I'm going to go ahead and scroll all the way down here. I memorized most of all these, but not all of them. Mother Earth, the North, excuse me. Beaver, who is the builder? Builder of the dams, redirecting the rivers and stuff like that. He says, we are, and boy, oh boy, I keep finding my freaking spelling mistakes. I hate that. All right, so let me do this. Let me see. Nope, it's not going to let me share it. Darn it. Okay. All right, so let me go. Let me say that. Let me just repeat here what Beaver is saying here. He says, Mother Earth, Beaver, the builder, we are learning how to open new doors and opportunities to stay aware of what's around and within us. Okay, well, pretty much self-explanatory as far as that goes, which is pretty cool, because what's happening here is that we are learning how to rethink and reevaluate and so forth and so on. And what he's saying is that whatever doors open up, whatever information is presented to you, look at it as an opportunity for being a new door of perception, a new door of opportunity, a new way of being, so forth and so on. And also look at those opportunities from within. That's why he's coming up in upside down as well. Okay. So again, Mother Earth is, you got the hawk, which is the messenger. Okay. She's basically coming, hawk is basically coming to us and saying, yes, guess what? We are, the prayers are being heard. Your voice is being heard. Things are coming, coming to fruition. Things are now beginning to rebalance themselves, because of the fact that the old toxic systems are finally being broken apart. They're finally being shut down, and so forth and so on. So now it's time to heed the message, heed the callings of each other and the inside. I know, kind of Pollyannic, I know, but the fact of the matter is that's the message that I'm getting. It's very positive, in fact. Okay. When Hawk comes in as a messenger, it's basically saying that, hey, you're being heard, and there's an answer on its way. All right, now let's go to Father Sky. This is interesting. Now, this is the open medicine shield. Now, when I draw the open medicine shield, all right, that means that there are either multiple totems, or that there is a totem that is not in these decks of cards. So I asked what that was, and Sure enough, I'll show you what came through. It was hilarious. Talking about the Fuzzums kind of doing a whole bunch of stuff. Meet Snag'em's Fuzzums, the saber-toothed tiger. Okay. Now, why did the saber-toothed tiger or the cave lion come in on Father Sky on an open medicine shield, you ask? Well, the reason why is because of the fact that um, because what he is showing us is the ancient ways, what we're in a sense reviving the ancient ways the of being elders of wisdom. So we have to stock that wisdom. We have to be the hunter of that wisdom. And then when it comes to us, or that we get close enough, we need to seize that opportunity, pounce on it, and devour it, as it were, and savor everything that is about it. No, Snagums, you're not giving permission to eat me. Thank you very much. All right. He's looking at me, licking his chops. Oh, God. All right. Shut up, Cthulhu face. Really? Okay. Go do something for the environment. Eat an SUV like I told you to do. All right. Yeah, whatever. Okay. He's being a smartass. You can't hear him in the background, but he is. Anyways, so this is basically telling us, go after that ancient wisdom. Go after that. Uh, go after those old, those elder ways, because of the fact that really they are needed right now. They're needed badly, and we need to basically let ourselves quest for that. All right, so we have uh, the buffalo, which is talking about abundance. This is talking about the abundance within. This is talking about reevaluating and re-examining the the um, the principles, or rather the concept of abundance. Buffalo, that's what it's about, is abundance, being able to feed oneself, being able to nurture oneself, and so forth and so on. Being the being the builder of the community, so forth and so on. There's a lot about buffalo medicine, and it's also about breaking down the obstacles. So here it is. Buffalo sits in the middle of otter medicine and mouse scrutiny, as well as the divine feminine. So what this is saying is, be willing to examine those two, and be examine who it is, that we are, and how we're being supported and stuff like that. Redefining what abundance really is for us, and living that redefinition. Because beaver, and then also opossum, is saying examine new doors, because everything else is pretty much a distraction. Okay. um, you know if we want to build a community, we have to learn how to open those new doors, and be who we really are. So we have um, saber-tooth tiger, along with the messenger and stuff like that. What this is kind of also showing us is that it's an echo from the past. It's an echo of past wisdoms, echo of those wisdoms coming back full circle, so that way we may become full circle as well. So all in all, a very, very powerful reading, which I think is just absolutely phenomenal. Sorry, my chair is disappearing on me, so I'll just move this way, so that way it just seems like I'm standing here in the middle of the snowfield. Anyways, so with that said, we really have a chance. I mean, this is really basically saying, yeah, keep going, keep going, keep going. Keep moving forward, keep examining. That which is the truth. Don't buy into a lot of the BS that's out there and all that stuff, because of the fact that it's really not who we are. And be ready, and be willing, and be enthusiastic about opening those new doors, examining those new realities, and looking into who we are, because of the fact that our light, our inner light, and who we are, is breaking down those obsolete, good for nothing, dark energies, those dark constructs, these dark systems that are no longer working. And do not be afraid of, the kitchen sink being thrown at us. It's getting more intense because the dark side, as it were, is getting more desperate. They're about to succumb to their own fear. We just can't be pulled down with it. That's what this whole, if I had to, sum it up into a little bit of a mantra, is that don't give into the fear and darkness because of the fact that it's desperate. We are winning. Okay. So that's what this spread is talking about. And for me, that was a great reassurance. Now, all we have to do is just keep up the good fight, right? Keep in there. Keep the faith, shipmate, as Navy guys would say. So with that, I leave that with you. Okay. As I said before, if you like this video, share it with your friends, like it, subscribe to my channel. Glad to have you aboard. Leave your comments, so forth and so on. I'll have this posted up on Blogspot, as well as Facebook, as well as my YouTube channel and Twitter as well. So until then, I leave this with you. And remember, I'll see you on the other side of the flip side. Take care, everyone. I love you guys. Talk to you later.